My family travels a lot, and by a lot, I mean this year we are approaching 350,000 miles. And one of the things we like to do when we travel is check out climbing gyms. I think it's so interesting to see how different route setters set different boulders and the different shapes and constructs of gyms, different interior features, programs, whether they've got training boards, moon boards, campus boards, all those things. It seems like the fees are pretty universal. I've climbed in the deep south and the far Pacific Northwest, and it seems like the rate generally is about $20 per day, and you can get a punch pass, which I definitely would encourage you to look at if you at all plan to return to that city. I bought a punch pass in the Twin Cities, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and there was a discount code. I climbed once and they sent me an email for a discount code for 20% off. So basically the per price climb went from $20 and some tax down to just about $12 or $13 per climb. So certainly worth it as I travel to that region a bit, and my kids like to climb there as well. So one of the places I checked out recently was Half Moon Bouldering in North Seattle, or the Northgate area essentially. And I chose that because of the proximity to the hotel we were staying at, and it looked very new, very quaint, and I was not disappointed. It's an 11,000 square foot facility, and there's about 5,000 or so square feet of bouldering walls that they state in their literature. There's moonboard, campus board, there's a little small weight area as well. One of the things that I thought was cool is they had a kids class, a children's class, and I would guess, looking at the age of and size of these kids, that they were probably 8 and under. And it was super fun to watch them doing different drills, hangboarding, doing different techniques, working on foot positioning and all those things, and super fun to see. It did make it a little challenging. They do a little breakout group session in their kid area and then come out to the main climbing gym, and suddenly there'd be 20 kids along with the adults climbing on the same space. So it was a little constrained in terms of space, but super fun to see. The staff seemed super energetic, and were very interested in obviously what they were doing, and children, and the sport of climbing as well. The walls were basically all wood construct, which was really created a very pleasing visual aesthetic, as you can see in the photos here. Some of the photos I'm showing here, are just stock video because I'm talking much longer than the number of pictures I took. I like to climb and not spend the whole time on my camera, unless perhaps I'm with a child or a friend or a new family member who's never climbed before. But overall, the experience was great. The place was extremely clean. The mats were squishy, soft, well maintained, and also very clean. There was a sink area just adjacent to the climbing area to wash off the chalk when you're done. Locking lockers, apparently there's some issues with thieves understanding that the climbing culture is different and people tend to be more trusting and leave their stuff out in the open. So I took advantage of locking up my rental car keys in a locked locker, as I didn't want to Uber back to the hotel and try to explain to the car rental place what happened to the rental car. And we'll show a few pictures here as well. So overall, I was quite pleased. Their hours are good. The only downfall that I could potentially see, two things. It's a relatively small space, so I wish there was some way, some meter or something you could see to understand what the busy times were. At the end, I was pretty fatigued. I thought about doing a few more routes, but the number of adults and children in there was just a bit of a waiting game, so I gave up and departed a little bit earlier than I would have liked. And then the parking. There's not a great deal of parking. There's some apartment buildings that are across the street and above, and so I ended up parking in a grocery store, which worked out great. We went over and got some food and some snacks after we were done climbing, but as you're likely familiar with fall weather in the Pacific Northwest, a lot of rain, a lot of heavy rain. So by the time I got back to the car, I was saturated, but not a deal breaker. A super fun experience, and I would highly recommend that you check out Half Moon Bouldering in North Seattle.